For today's project, you'll notice I mentioned it in a previous video. I stripped all of the extra leather and paint off of the body of that mini speed graphic. Before we do more with this though, we are going to try and take a look at the lens, which is a little dusty, because I think I mentioned previously, it doesn't stay closed. Oh, I'm so happy with the speeds of it though. While we're looking at this lens, the Century Graflex has a more or less identical lens. The issue with this one, because it does close, but it is a little sticky on its slower speeds, right? So if I turn this to 1/10 of a second, that is a inconsistent beat, not 1/10 of a second. The higher speeds seem pretty snappy still. So we're going to take a look at these bad boys and see if we can't get something sorted out with them. All right, I'm going to be keeping a slightly better eye on my video today. My workspace is a little messy. I really don't want to get too much junk on the inside of these lenses. And to that end, we're going to close the inside of this to try and keep some dust out of the bellows. This is not an ideal working environment, but I'm not too worried about it. All right, so let's get these front pieces off first. I'll try and keep everything separate here. Right. So the first thing I noticed the first time I did this is there is a little metal piece in here. I'm not sure if you can hear. Let's do this. See if I can. So there's a little metal piece on the inside here that seems a little bent. Because you'll notice on the other lens it doesn't look like that. Yeah, I don't know if you can see any of that at all. Anywho, close enough. Thanks, refrigerator. So we're going to try and get into these bad boys without messing anything up, and we'll see how effective we are at that. Now, normally I do a fair bit of homework beforehand to see if I can, you know, it's good to arm yourself with knowledge, but I think it is also important sometimes just to get in there and see what you can find. I'm going to start with this one. To that end, let's just set this on here and keep anything from getting in it a little bit. I'm trying to keep my head out of the frame this time. My natural inclination is to hunch over my work and get right up on it. But you guys don't want to see the back of my head. There we go. All right. Is there an area where this wants to slip off, or do I just need to, what am I working with here? Okay, I see how that lines up. I'll show you guys in just a second. There we go. All right. So on the underside of this ring is a little notch which lines up with this bad boy here, which helps select the shutter. And this, okay. This is why we're doing the lens that already doesn't work first, because, well, It would be wrong to say it couldn't be more broken, but I won't be much worse off than I started. So I imagine this piece lines up with the screws. Yeah, underneath the ring here. Let me show you. The issue with these small screws. All right. So underneath this ring is this, I don't know, brass washer that lines up with those screws. Well, yeah, like that. We're gonna keep those together for now. All right, so that goes on top of that, which lines up with this piece, which looks like it's held in by 2 screws. And this is what this front lens piece slides into. It's nice to have something to compare it to. It's like, I don't know how many of you have built PCs, but it is darn near impossible to troubleshoot what is wrong if it fails to boot the first time you put it together, if you do not have components to compare to. What's that? Okay. Yeah, and I apologize for the technical issues with the breakdown video. I do want to put together a more concise instructional breakdown at some point. All right, we're going to move this over here. Does this pop off? I don't want to be too forceful. All right, 1 screw, 2 screw. There we go, just gently pull on that. All right. And this, keeping things in line, top our under piece, and these screws go here. All right, so far so good. So this piece right here is what looks to me to be bent, perhaps hanging some things up. But I think at this point we're going to open up the other one so that we actually know what the heck is going on. Feels a little gritty, but not too bad. Also trying to figure out, all right, when this piece moves, what does it engage with? Oh, that's nice though. That mechanical action, it's really smooth. Okay, sorry. Staying on task. Let's see what the inside of the other one looks like while we're removing things so we know what we're looking at. I already forgot how I did this. I don't think there was any real trick to it. It's just a matter of sliding it gently. Let's do this so I can actually see. Oh. Just have to kind of have it in the right position where this little notch is. This one's a little greasier. A little too greasy if you ask me. That might be part of the problem here. A lot of times if the, you know, whatever people try and oil it with is a little too aggressive, it can gum up the mechanisms. Okay, so it moves. So this piece, when it rotates, yeah. Okay. Let's unscrew this and we'll take a closer look. One of my friends from grad school is sending me, it's an old Kodak, I forget which one it is, but he's been asking me questions about it and is a little unfamiliar with film cameras, so he is shipping it my way to have a look at it to make sure it is working. I wouldn't say I'm, particularly knowledgeable. I'm just not afraid to poke around inside of stuff, mostly. Come on now, there we go. All right, I see. So that's the same, yeah. All right, so let's take a look. Things more or less lined up. Yeah, so this one doesn't want to reset when it is on. The T. Yeah, you can hear how sticky that is in there. It's awful. So are you... Aha! You were stuck up on that. And now you don't want to reset, because this little piece is hung up. Yes. Seems to be. That is the case. All right, so yep, that little piece is bent quite aggressively. Yeah, so this piece is bent, as is this one. I wonder how that happened. That seems pretty pretty significantly bent there, right? How that one's turned down compared to this piece. So I would say the slow speeds on this one are likely kind of due to more than anything else just being gummed up with old grease. It was probably thicker than it should have been. Regardless, it's just old. So hopefully that should be, clean things up. We have a little bit of naphtha, a little bit of solvent, and we'll keep moving on.